When you are feeling rather low and you're in a very challenging situation and you're just wanting to feel positive, and then you have a very good vantage point, this is my advice to you, because there are days that I feel that way because maybe I have not managed my affairs very well, or I am not physically fit, or I spent my days without taking care of myself emotionally, physically, and spiritually. That one day I'm just like, something happens and then I feel low right away and I'm not able to contain it. So here's what I do. I find, number one is I find a spot in my home or place where it's positive. It feels positive. It feels really, really good. So there are days when I'm inside my office, and then just the thought of getting into my office brings back negative vibe or negative energy. So what I do is I either rearrange the office, or I really step out of my office a lot, especially in those moments that I don't feel good. Number two, I go back. I step out of the office, I take a break, or maybe I get a drink, or I go outside. But what I do is I go back to a memory. I go back to a previous core memory or now where I felt positive. So if I'm not feeling accepted, I go back to memory where I felt so accepted and I belong. And it doesn't have to be the same people or same situation that is making you feel negative at this point. I just go back to where I really, really felt good about myself, and I stay there and I stay there and I milk that moment for as long as I can. And as I am imagining it, I am saying thank you for that moment. I really love that moment. I really appreciate that moment. And I love a lot of moments like those. And I keep saying it over and over. And next thing you know, even if it's just 5 minutes, I start being in that frequency of being appreciated because I went to a previous core memory and I am reusing that core memory like a vitamin, like a supply of energy. And then number three, another thing that I do is I meditate or pray. I have a space outside of my office where it's kind of like my sacred space, like an altar or a zone where I have my cards or my reading materials, and then I put my hands together and I say, I'm accepting, I'm allowing, and I want a message from you. And then I get the card, and then true enough, I get a card that tells me exactly what I'm feeling, and then what is the healing that needs to take place, what are the prayers that I should be saying or thoughts that have to fill my mind. So I'm going to use and share that those cards with you. It's called the Rumi cards or the White Oracle cards. They're very meditative for me, and they always show the message that I need to hear at that point. Okay. And then, so I gave you three tips, right? And the number four is I spend some time with my loved ones. Sometimes I just go down and I hug my husband because we both work from home, or I play with my dog, and I just stay there and I very consciously just milk that moment. Like really focusing on the moment, and then that moment that I am petting my dog, the moment that I'm just like hugging my husband, and then just really focusing on that and not going to the other frequency, because whatever is that frequency, that's what I'm going to attract. The next thing you know, I'm feeling better. And then the next one that I do is I write down what I want. And I say, thank you for, thank you for, thank you for. And I love it. I love it. I love it. And I just keep writing it down because I realized and proven over and over, whatever I write down happens. So I'm writing, I'm writing it down. And so there's probably about 5 or 6 tips that I gave you when you are feeling not so high, and you're kind of like, how am I going to manage this? How can I get through this? And how can I just bounce off of this and then just go to a positive place, or a place that you can help, that would help me create a better now? So those are my tips. I hope that helps.